Hi, this is David Healy with LibraWave. Today I thought we'd go through some of the loops that come with Modern Bodhrán, and it will give us a good opportunity to listen to the different drums and the different brushes. Okay, so when you get Modern Bodhrán, you'll get a folder of MIDI files, and these are just a selection of common Bodhrán rhythms, and they're in short little loops that you can use as building blocks for your own pieces, and they're just good starting points. So in the file names you'll see things like 4/4, 6/8, 9/8, 7/8, and these are the time signatures, so make sure you set your DAW to the same time signature. The other important thing to know is that all of these MIDI files were created to work with the spread down-up patches. So if you load a different patch, it's not going to work properly. So you can use the spread down-up patch from any of the drums. Okay, so we'll start with the 16-inch Bodhrán spread down-up. That's what I have loaded currently. And we'll just load in one of these loops. So let's go with this first one here, Modern Bodhrán 4/4 Chill Groove 1. So I'll just drag that in there, and we're already set to 4/4. And I'm just going to make this a little smaller. I'm just going to zoom out. There we go. Okay, so here's our loop. And we're set to 4/4. We can see that here. We can also see that there, time signature 4/4. And if I pull this down, we can see the individual notes. Oh, and let's see the velocity as well. So we can see the lowest notes and the highest notes. And let's just have a listen, and we'll loop this MIDI item actually, and then we can just hear it repeat. Let's go to a different drum. Okay, so you get the idea. It's just a simple MIDI loop, and of course you can modify this, and you really should. These are just sort of starting off points. So let's see what we can do here. Turn the grid on. So one thing I like to do quite often is to have these sort of double hits. So if we just go to the tipper, and I'm just going to close Rhapsody for a moment, and if I hit play, we'll hear the first few hits. So this one I might make it a double hit. That kind of thing. I like doing those little sort of quick down hits. Or up. And I'd probably do the same thing here. Just simple things like that can really add character. The other thing you can do, because we're using the down-up patch, each tone is actually spread over multiple keys, but in the MIDI sequence we're only using one key. So for example, these are all no tones up here at the top. They're using these orange keys. So if we play it back, you'll see those orange keys going. But they're both just using C3 and C5. So there's our C5 up at the top and C3 down here. And we can sort of vary that. We don't have to just stick with those ones. So we might move that one up. That one can stay where it is. This one can go up 2. That one can go up. And just play around with them. Just sort of shift them around. And you'll just get a bit more variety. And actually we can move that up a bit more and move those up. And we can do the same with these bass hits. So we've got one here. Let's move that up 1. So we're just getting a slightly different variation on the tone each time. Just makes the sequence a little more interesting. And of course you can play around with the timings and the velocity and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so let's just go through a few more of these loops and hear what they sound like. And we'll also go through a few more of the drums. And let's add one of the reels. This is also a 4/4 one. So we'll just drop that in there. Let's go to the other 13-inch drum. And the 14-inch. Okay, let's have a listen to another one. So we'll go with a 6/8-1 this time. Let's go with jig 3. So we need to change the time signature for this one. So we'll do 6/8. I think that tempo is a little slow. Let's increase that to 140. That should be all right. So let's go for one of these 9/8 slip jigs. So now we've gone through a selection of the loops and most of the sounds of the instrument. Let's just go back to that folder with the MIDI loops and you'll notice we have this notation folder. So all of the loops were created from notation that was provided by the original musician. So she's provided this handwritten notation and then I've turned it into these MIDI loops. So I'm going to show you how we go through that process. So let's just go back to, we'll go to the 14-inch drum and I'm going to work with the spread down up patch, but you could do this if you're doing it yourself. You can do it with any of the patches. So just a quick refresh, the spread down up patch, we've got the down samples this side of the keyboard, so C2 up to F3, and the up samples are C4 up to F5. And the lower we go in each group, the lower the tone, and the top two of each group are the rim shots, which none of the loops are actually using the rim shots, so these are something you could add in to create a bit more interest. Okay, so I'm going to delete what we've got here, and we'll get rid of the loop. We don't need that at the moment. And actually, let's decide which one we're going to work with. Let's just start with one of the simpler ones. So we'll go with the 4/4, and we've got the chill grooves here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 bars. So, oh, didn't mean to draw that in there. And let's set our time signature to 4/4. And we'll go with a slower tempo for now. Set that back to 120. And then we're at 4 bars, so that's perfect. Okay, now how you choose to enter the notes is up to you. You can use the mouse to do it, or you can use step input, or just record it in real time if you want. I'm going to use step input for this. And let's just talk about the notation. So if you go to Maurice's website, which I'll leave a link in the video description, but it's modernbodhrán.com, she has a blog post where she shows how to work with her notation system. But it's fairly straightforward. The lower the note is drawn on the stave, the lower the tone, or as you go higher up, the tone gets higher, basically. And if it's got an X note head or a cross note head, then that's one of the no tones. For 4/4 rhythms, you're going to be alternating between down and up strokes. So we'll see that here, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And for 6/8 rhythms, it's going to be down, up, down, down, up, down. And for other rhythms, you can kind of work it out from a combination of those two. So if we go to this first one here, it's going to be a downstroke, and it's going to be a low tone with an accent. So we're going to use velocity to create the accent. And then it's going to be 3 no tones alternating between up, down, up. Then it's going to be a high tone in the down direction. Then again, we're alternating between 2 no tones. And then the last tone will be a low tone, but it's going to be an up because we've gone down, up, and then we start again. Okay, so let's try that. And I'm just going to close the Rhapsody window there. I'm going to pin this one on my screen so it doesn't close on me. Just make it a bit smaller there so I can see it. Okay, so I just had a little system malfunction there, but I think I'm back to where I was. So we're going to enter this Modern Bodhrán chill 4/4 groove, and we're going to do it in step time or with step input. So it's all 8th notes, so I'll set that. And let's see Rhapsody's interface. We'll just make it a bit smaller. Okay, so just so we can see the notes, and I'll just show you how this works. So as I'm entering notes on my keyboard, we'll see them appear here one at a time. So that's step time input. Okay, so we're not going to be able to see the notes being entered at the same time because I want us to see the interface, and there isn't enough room on my screen to show everything. Okay, so we're going to start with this low note, and it's in the down direction, so that's going to be one of these 3 keys, and it's got a bit of an accent, so I'll put a bit of velocity behind it. And then it's going to be some no tones, up, down, up. Then it's going to be a higher tone, downstroke with an accent. And then it's going to be no tones, up, down. And the last one is a low tone in the up direction with a bit of an accent. Now we're on to bar 2. So this is just 4 no tones, down, up, down, up. Then we've got an upstroke, and it's a high one with an accent. Then again, some no tones, up, down, up. Then we're back to the beginning of the pattern actually. This is the same as the first bar, but we'll play it in rather than just copying and pasting because then it's going to be a little bit different. And then the last bar is the same as the second bar. Okay, and that's that one entered. So we can minimize that now. And let's have a look at what we've got. So I'll just turn the grid off there. So that's what we've got. We'll loop that, and we can see the velocities here where the accents are, and let's just play that back. So you can see it's really simple to enter, and the notation system is really easy to read. Obviously all the ones that are included, I've already done it for you, but if you want to do it with some of the different patches so you're not always using the spread down up patch, then this is how you read the notation and that's how you enter the notes, so you can do it yourself. Okay, so that was a look at the loops and the sounds of Modern Bodhrán. Obviously there are a lot more loops, so you can go through them and go exploring, but hopefully this just gives you a kind of a taste for what's included. Anyway, I hope you found this helpful or interesting. If you do have any questions or comments, leave them below the video. So that's it for the moment. Thank you for watching.